What's
All
up,
right,
bro?
welcome back to the EgoLess podcast. I have the jacked vegan. I didn't even know those two terms went together. Julian Hierro, thanks for coming, bro. I appreciate you being on here today with me.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Where are you at right now? It looks sunny and nice behind you.
I'm in Playa del Carmen in Mexico, a couple blocks away from the Caribbean, man.
So it was like your whole life like a just like a constant vacation?
Well, I spend a lot of time indoors working, but we can say that the weekends are. I have the beach a couple blocks away, so it's cool to have it so close to you, man.
You know, it's funny too, because I live in Naples, Florida. I live on one of the channels, like right on the water, which in about a mile from the beach. But I think that I go to the beach maybe once every 2 months. So when people ask me, like, "Man, you live that close to the beach? You must go every day." It's like, nah, you're on the grind, and so it's kind of hard. Like you can be like in that beautiful place around you, but it's like, dang, you gotta be working.
Yeah, 100%, man. And when I moved out here about a year and a half ago, and when you first get here, you're super excited. You go to the beach like every single day, but then you kind of get used to it and you get into the ground, like you said. And now it's like maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks that I actually hit the beach.
So kind of looking at your journey, where did you move from now?
Before coming to Playa, I was living in Mexico City, and I spent like a couple of years just like traveling around Mexico, like looking at different places. And this is the place that I like the most. And I also lived in the States for a little bit, and yeah, I just decided to stay in Mexico, man. Love it here.
So you were known as the jacked vegan, and dude, you're already crushing the space. And looking at your stuff, it's like for me, I never would even thought about going vegan, but like looking how healthy you are, I'm just like, dang. But dude, what made you make that switch?
Yeah, so that's a great question, man. I get this question all the time. I've always been an animal lover. When I was really young, I even wanted to be a veterinary because I just love animals, man. And last year, a year and a half ago, I started dating my current girlfriend, and she's vegan for 7 years. Like before I met her, I didn't know anything about veganism, vegetarianism, like nothing. For me, it's just crazy people that were kind of like a cult that ate lettuce all day. That's what I thought it was. But she like slowly started talking to me about it, and every time she brought up like, you gotta just give it a try, I was like, no way, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I'll never go vegan. Like, you're crazy. It's not gonna happen. But then every time she brought up the animals, I was like, shit, like it's not cool. Like if you look at the footage that happens, like slaughterhouses, they're treated like shit. And I'm an animal lover, man. So a year after dating her, having that conversation, like almost every week, I told her, okay, I'll give it a try for 2 weeks. I love the animals, so it makes sense not to eat them if you love them. And I gave it a try, and I felt freaking awesome, both physically and also like it aligned with my beliefs because animals, I didn't like the footage of the slaughterhouses. I didn't agree the way they were treated, so it felt good also as a person to not eat them. So I gave it a try for 2 weeks, and I just kept going. I didn't go back.
I know loving the animals, but is it kind of like a spiritual thing, or is it?
Well, I wouldn't say spiritual, man. I would say more that, I mean, do you like dogs?
Yeah, I love dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs too, man. Have you ever interacted with like pigs and cows?
I never really.
Yeah, well, if you interact with like a pig or a cow, like they get to know you, you call them, they come, they get excited. They're just like a dog. They just look different. Cows are the same, man. They're like super cool animals. They come, they recognize their owners. They get excited. They play. They have fun. They get sad. Like they're just like a dog. They just look different. They're bigger or smaller or whatever. So if someone tells you like, hey man, like you want to have some dog meat, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But at the end of the day, like a cow and a dog are very similar when like the way they behave, the way they feel, their emotions, they're very freaking similar. And I wouldn't be okay like killing my dog and eating a dog. It just would feel weird. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what's happening to the cows. And the cows are kind of like us. We're just very disconnected from what happens in the slaughterhouse to the final product. And every time someone sees the footage in the slaughterhouse, they're like, shit, I don't even want to watch that. But it's important for us to know exactly what needs to happen for us to get that steak on our plates, right?
Exactly.
And most people wouldn't like slaughter a cow. They wouldn't do it themselves unless they're like starving to death and they had to do it. But most people wouldn't take the trouble to do it. So in my head, it was like, I probably wouldn't do it unless I'm like dying and starving and that's the only option I have. So if I wouldn't do it, then if I'm not willing to swing the sword, then I shouldn't be eating the animals. That was my thought process.
There's few people who are being woke. It's like taking responsibility for their lives, because even when people see these, these footage and how the animals are treated, it releases bad, bad chemicals and bad hormones into the meat. But not saying that most people don't care, but most people will say they care, but they really don't, because they're not really willing to do anything about it.
It's just really easy to forget about it and to just continue with life. I saw the footage like 5 years ago, and I saw it and I felt like shit, but then I forgot about it. I went to the supermarket, I had to, right. It takes an effort. It takes a commitment to actually make it happen. And for me, the main reason I did it is because I love animals. Like, I'm an animal lover, 100%. I have a weak for animals, man. But there's other reasons why, it's cool to be vegan as well, because animal farming does have a big negative impact on the environment, on the world. Around 70 billion animals are killed every single year around the world just to feed humans. And I was looking at some statistics. For me, I don't really care about this because my main concern is the animals. Everything that comes after that is just, positive side effects. But for example, like 70% of, I just got this before coming up, like for this podcast, 70% of former forests in the Amazons are now used to raise cattle. So basically, we're destroying forests around the world just to be able to raise more cattle. The meat, dairy, and egg and fish industry take up 83% of the world's farmland, yet to provide only 18% of the world's calories. And it takes 6 times more protein to grow a cow than the protein a cow produces, which is crazy if you think about it. Like, we're feeding 70 billion animals to feed the world, but just imagine the amount of resources that it takes to feed those 70 billion animals. We could use those resources to feed the world instead.
So, bro, take me through the journey, right? So you left your job, or actually you even told me you got fired, dude. I remember I got fired from my job 8 years ago. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, dude. Talk to me about that. Like, what happened, and what was next after that?
Yeah, I mean, I was working a job. It was a great job, and I was working remotely. I was making decent money. I could live. I was already living here in Playa del Carmen. I had some issues with my former boss. We didn't align some things. I didn't really enjoy it, so I wasn't giving my 100%. That's probably the reason why things didn't work out. So one day, just woke up. I got fired, and at the time I thought, oh, I'm like, screw, what am I going to do now? Like, I don't have an income. So I had to figure shit out. But again, just like you, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. For 2-3 months, I was like in a hole, man. I was like in a dark place. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I tried different industries. I tried to be a dating coach for a little bit. I thought about going to real estate. None of those worked out for me. I don't like him. And I had a friend that I had a conversation with him. And he told me, like, man, you're like when everyone thinks about you, everyone thinks about the fitness guy. And I've been the fitness guy in every circle since I was like 13 years old. So he was like, just give it a try, go 100% all in for 6 months, see what happens. If it doesn't work out, just do something else. You can always change. And those 6 months turned into, what's happening now. It's been a year and a half, and it's been freaking insane, the growth and everything.
Dude, and you know what I like what you said too is like, you go back, you're like, it's probably my fault that I didn't give my all. I look back going from, being homeless to, becoming a millionaire by 25. For me, people look back and they'll be like, hey, you got fired from that job. I bet they wish that they didn't fire you now. It's like, no, I deserve to be fired because I wasn't giving it my all. Like, it wasn't anything on them. It's not like a negative. And I think, dude, just like owning your shit is probably one of the best things of life. Cause like, hey, yeah, it was my fault, but that doesn't mean we have to be stuck in that place. So dude, I love that you did that. So in that, like, when you're in that dark place, bro, like, because I feel like there's a lot of people in that same place. COVID has hit a lot of industries hard. Walk me through, like, dude, how were you feeling during that time?
Right after being fired, I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do with my life right now? I was making, I think it was like, I was making 60 grand a year. And I was like, this is awesome in Mexico. Like, I got fired. I'm never going to make this money again. Like, it's going to be impossible. What the fuck am I going to do? I thought about becoming a blogger for dating coaches, like I said, and that didn't work out. I didn't like it. So I just, in my head, when I started doing the fitness coaching thing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get enough clients and make enough money just to pay rent. If I can pay rent and feed myself, I'll be okay. And that happened super quick. It didn't take me that long to be able to pay rent and feed myself. And after that, I hired my first mentor. And he helped me get to like the first milestone. You hit your first 10K a month. He taught me about sales. He taught me about pricing, about, delivering your product, about the value you actually offer people, the transformations that you're offering. And then after that, I've just had a couple mentors that have, every time I hire one, they just help me get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And that's what I'm doing now, man. It's just been like a process where you grow a little bit, you get stuck, and then someone teaches you something that you didn't know, and then you grow a little bit more, and then you get stuck again, and then someone teaches you something that you didn't know, and you grow again. And that's been the process that I've experienced so far in the last year and a half.
Dude, that's incredible. So would you say that like getting your mentor was like the kind of like the 10X, almost like where you're here, but having a mentor is pretty much the catalyst that took you to that next level?
Definitely. And I've had a couple, not just one, but definitely each mentor that I've had has helped me reach a milestone. The first milestone I remember was like, yeah, like the 10K months, like everyone wants to hit that. And for me, it was like impossible. I'm never going to hit 10K. But then the guy was like, you can fucking do it. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. Just do what I say and it's going to happen. I did what he told me to do and it happened. And every time I just hire a new mentor, similar thing. I mean, I've had a couple bad experiences, but it's just like dating. You're not going to find the chick that you like right away. You got to just try different things until you find the one that you like. But I've had a couple bad experiences, but yeah, every time I get a new mentor, they just teach me something else that I didn't see before, that I didn't know before. And then it's just a new level and then a new level. And there's always room for more and more growth, which is exciting.
One of the things that I think that I see that's a big problem is that when people get to that new level, you don't necessarily need that person anymore in your life, just like they may not need you. But that doesn't mean it's anything wrong or negative against them. I've seen, people in situations where they outgrow the person that they first started doing business with, and then it was like a strained relationship. But at the end, it's like, for me, as I look back at all the people who helped me get to where I'm at now, and it's just like, hey, I'm just so grateful that you were there. Anything that you need in your life, like I'm going to be there to help you out. Do you feel like the same, to where it's just like, I appreciate you getting me to where we're at. It's just business. I'm going here.
Yeah, 100%. And it happened a couple of times. I think I've had three mentors that were like super influential in my life. And with the first one, he helped me get to that first level. But then after that, I just didn't see any more growth. And then I was like, hey man, I love you. Thank you for taking me to this place, but I just got to find something else that aligns with, where I want to go. What you taught me is not working anymore. I mean, it worked to get me to this point, but it's not helping me get to the next level. So it's been like that, that I've had a similar experience. So I'm super grateful for every single experience that I've had, but you grow, you change, and then you need different things to keep on growing. There's always a next level. And in my experience, I've always wanted to, like every time I hit that level, I want to get to another level. If you stay stagnant, then you're just going to get depressed. And then you're going to be like, okay, this is not fun anymore.
Dude, exactly. It's like water. If you leave water just standing, it's okay for a day, 2 days, but pretty soon that stuff starts to get nasty, dude. And one of the things I think that so many people have is destination happiness syndrome, towards like, I'll be happy when. And dude, I did that in my own life. Like when I was 20, I was like, man, I'll be happy when I get to this point. I got to that point, I wasn't happy. It's like, you got to keep going. I'm like, dang, I've worked so hard. I don't know if I want to keep going. So dude, like what you said, it really correlates kind of with my own life, to where it's like, it's a constant growing. People are always like, where are you going? It's like, we're going to keep going up. So dude, like what's next for you now? I mean, you're already dominating the space.
I mean, in the next 12 months, I got a couple of products that we're building that I'm super excited about. Right now, the only thing we're offering is coaching, one-on-one coaching for clients. We're building an application, a nutrition application for vegans specifically. We're building some self-serve product that are going to be at a lower price point so that we can help more people. I think those are the main focuses for the next 12 months. Just launching that application so that we can make good nutrition affordable for every single vegan around the world, and just launching more and more products so that people can get proper nutrition and proper training at an affordable price.
And that's why I'm glad that that you're in this space, and some other influential people have been in the space. 9 years ago, 10 years ago, there was knowledge about like supplements, but it wasn't as good as it is today. So there was a lot of bad supplements on the market. And that was the time. You remember pro hormones? It's like a anabolic steroid. You could take it and it would basically convert to a steroid in your liver. So it was technically legal. And so this was back like 9 years ago. One of my best friends, started taking these pro hormones, and because of it, developed like gyno. Then
Oh, wow.
became depressed, just because there wasn't that knowledge of how to do things properly, and then like what's healthy for you.
Yeah, man. And unfortunately, there's people in the industry or in the fitness industry in general that are giving really bad advice. Even, dude, I've talked to some people on the phone that tell me that even doctors, man. There's some doctors that just don't have the nutrition background required, and they just give really, really bad advice to people. So my goal, man, is to help every single vegan just get proper nutrition, get healthier, and just improve their body composition, decrease the amount of fat they're carrying, increase the amount of mass, doing it properly. Because if your friend wanted to take steroids, right, he could have, like, that's cool, that's on him. But if he would have done it properly, that wouldn't have happened to him, right? He would have gone to a coach, that the coach would tell him, like, hey, do it this way. It's good for you to take steroids, just do it properly, and then you're not going to get Ghana. You're going to get the results you want. So at the end of the day, it's important to do things properly, because there's a lot of bad advice out there.
No, dude, and you're right. We, as human beings, we learn from two things. Either we learn from a mentor, and we learn from pain. And sometimes it takes me, pain for me to learn, but most of the time now it's like, all right, I'm gonna, see people who've been there, who've done it, and I'm gonna learn from them, because I know that they've had to go through it to learn it. Let me ask you this: when you're taking on a new client, what is your tip? How do you get people motivated to kind of take that first step and stick with it?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I think first, motivation is cool. Motivation is not always going to be there for you, regardless of what you're doing. Like, if you've been in business for a while, and you know that you don't wake up super motivated every day to do the things you got to do, but you just do them anyway, just because
Exactly.
it's your routine, you're used to it. Health and fitness is the same. It's not like every day I'm like, yes, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go work out today. I'm gonna kill my squats. This is fucking awesome. Like, sometimes I would rather stay home and not work out, but I just do it because it becomes a habit. So the first thing for anyone that doesn't have the habit of working out is just realizing what's gonna happen if they don't take care of this, right? Because a lot of people that come to us, it's mainly, people that are in their mid 30s that didn't work out for a couple of years, and now they want to get in shape because they didn't do things properly for the past 10 years, and they're seeing the consequences. So the first thing I tell them is like, hey, like, what does another 10 years of you and this bad habits that you have are going to look like? Tell them that. They like, shit, like, in 10 years I'm going to be close to 50, and I'm going to be in this vicious cycle where I'm like binging, where I'm not working out, when I start something and then I stop. So once they see that vision of negative outcome, if they don't take action, they're like, shit, I got to do something about this, right? And then you paint the other picture. So now let's just go the opposite way. Let's imagine we go 10 years on the road, and we actually install these good habits in your life right now. We get you eating properly, we get you working out consistently 3 or 5 times a week, and you do it for 10 years. Now, what's that outcome like? And then they're like, wow, okay, that's what I want. Like, if I do it for 10 years, I'm going to be a pretty freaking awesome 45-year-old person that's going to be in great shape. I'm going to be feeling awesome. If I had kids, my kids are going to look up to me. If I have grandkids, they're going to be able to kick their asses. So I think part of it is just having that vision of what happens if you don't take action and what happens if you do. And also another important thing is figuring out the why. Why do you want to get in shape? Because usually for people, it's just more than just the vain stuff. It's just having abs. A lot of people want to do it because they want to be a good example for the kids. They want to be a better leader for their families. They want to feel more confident, right? Maybe they're single and they just want to be able to talk to people and feel great in their skin. A lot of people are also suffering from, their relationships are suffering because they feel self-conscious in the bedroom, and they're like, they don't want to get naked in front of their partner because they don't feel good. So having a really, really clear why, it's really important to be able to stay on track and stay within the plan.
You know Conor McGregor?
I do.
I think he's more accepted now than kind of during the journey, because everybody's like, man, he's so arrogant, he's so cocky. People love him now. But, during that time, I asked somebody one time, I said, why do people like him even though he's so arrogant? And the guy, he said, everybody loves a winner. So as long as you're winning in life, that doesn't just have to be in the UFC. That doesn't just have to be, on a professional sports level. But it's like, whenever you're winning, people want to be around you. It's contagious.
Man, it's that energy. That
Dude, that's it.
energy.
I mean, I look at like your
Yeah,
Instagram, I look
energy.
at your stuff, like you're winning. I'm like, dang, You know, am I going to be a vegan? No, but Julian's winning. I just want to be his friend.
Who knows, man? I said the same thing a year ago.
Dang, I like it, man. So I know, dude, we're getting close to this time here. Dude, where can people find you at?
Easiest way to get a hold of me is Instagram, man. This is my first and last name just together. That's my Instagram. And yeah, send me a DM. I'm very active there. I always reply, so that's the easiest way.
Dude, awesome, man. And I'll put the links in the bio. And dude, I look forward to seeing, you know, everything that you're coming out with, all the, you know, all the products, and taking this on a massive, massive scale.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me here. This is a great conversation, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Julian.
Get your ego out the way.